Welcome to Renfrewshire on the outskirts of Glasgow in Scotland, overlooked by the Campsie Fells, which means the Crooked Fairy Hills. The Paisley Abbey also sits here, which was established in the 7th century as a tribute to St Mirren and refurbished in 1163. Every Sunday it hosts services of worship. But those of them in the local community who aren't there will be making their way to the Braehead Arena, the venue for this year's Gruyère European Curling Championship. And our featured game this morning, Women's Session 2, Scotland versus Sweden.
There's a Scottish team, and at lead, Lauren Gray. Second is Vicky Adams. Third, Anna Sloan. And the skip, Eve Muirhead.
And let's meet Team Sweden. The lead, Sofia Mobergs. Second, Agnes Knockenauer. Third player, Sarah McManus. And then the skip, Anna Hasselborg. The alternates, Maria Prutz. And then the coach, Ingemar Udström. And this is how they stack up after the first round of play. Czech Republic, Denmark, Russia, Scotland and Sweden all getting off to winning starts yesterday afternoon. And Finland, Germany, Italy, Norway and Switzerland all looking to get off the mark here in this second session. Elsewhere on the ice here, Italy against Germany on sheet A, Finland against Czech Republic on sheet B, Russia against Denmark on sheet C, and Switzerland versus Norway on sheet D. That's Eve Muirhead, the skip of Team Scotland, playing the red stones and wearing the navy blue tops. Sweden will be playing the yellow stones and wearing the yellow tops. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me, 2002 Olympic gold medalist, Rona Howie.
Yeah, on you go.
Good morning, Rona.
Morning, Logan.
I think we're going to see a fantastic game today. Also, two of the favourites in the tournament. What way do you think this one's going to go?
Yeah, it's a hard one to call. Both very experienced teams and have both been playing very well so far this season. So I think we're up for a really good game here.
Just top four. Just top four. We're all there.
Well, Scotland electing to go into the house at the start of the game. It's quite a common approach we saw yesterday, Rona.
Yes, I think the players at the beginning of the game are just finding their way into the ice conditions and keeping it simple. Don't want to take chances too early. Sweden have obviously got the hammer here, so they've got last stone. So Scotland are not going to do anything too clever. Sweden just hit that one on the nose, so Eve will just replace that now. Ask Lauren to hit that out.
So here's Lauren Gray, the 25-year-old from Glasgow, playing in her hometown. Just so happens is my sister as well, playing in her first European Championships on the ice. It is her third time attending. She's been the alternate for Team Muirhead a couple of times.
I knew she was going to go quick out the hack like Sophia, so that's why I had to really cross over.
And here's Sofia Mobergs. She's a trainer at the Swedish Curling Academy, and then she's playing in her first European Championships as well. Yeah, and this Swedish team really really starting to fulfill their potential this season, Rona.
Yeah, definitely, because Maria Pritz, who's obviously their fifth player here, She's been dominating Swedish curling for the last couple of years, and Anna Hasselberg's been probably a bit in the shadows, but this year she's certainly playing a lot better and has done really well in slams in Canada in the first few months of the season. So she's certainly coming on to form, and the team are training hard, playing hard, and yeah, a big future ahead of them.
Well, here's Agnes Knockenauer playing in her 5th European Championship. Twice medalist as the alternate for Maria Pritt's team. Bit of role reversal this week for them, and this is Vicky Adams, the 2nd player for Team Scotland, playing her 7th European Championship. Medalled every single time in her first 6 outings, so definitely a good omen for the home team this week.
Yeah, even Vicky and Anna, Lauren's new in this year to the team, but the other 3 have had a lot of fantastic success at the Europeans. As you say, 7 Europeans together, so the medal podium's definitely where they want to be.
And you were obviously a part of those successes, Rona.
Oh, I don't think
Some
I
of
can
them
take
anyway.
much credit. Yeah, I was head coach for Team Muirhead for a few years in the lead up to the Olympics in Sochi, so I've worked quite closely with them.
Well, this is Anna Sloan, the 25-year-old from Lockerbie in Scotland. Again, she's playing her 7th European Championships and has medalled every time. Sporting hero is Roger Federer. Can think of worse idols to have.
Yes, definitely.
Don't see Rona Martin down on any of these, or sorry, Rona Howie down on any of these.
Funny that.
So Sarah McManus, don't be confused by her surname. She's playing for Team Sweden this week. Her father, of course, is Scottish, so hence the McManus name. Playing her first European Championships as well.
So nothing too clever at this end so far, just exchanging hits at the moment. Working this one hard.
Nice shot.
What's the thinking at this point, Ron? I mean, obviously there's 10 ends. Why are they not going gung-ho every end?
Yeah, I think with Eve putting the first stone of the end in the house, Sweden, it was top of the forefoot, so they probably didn't want to take chances. If it had been back tee, they may have put up a corner guard, but I think just ease them into the game, get rid of nerves in the first end. I would think from the second end onwards, we'll see some more stones in play.
Okay, it's normal. Yep.
This is the first game for the ladies in the morning draw, so the ice could be slightly different, so they're maybe just finding their way in at the moment in the first end.
So this is Eve Muirhead actually playing in her 9th European Championship. Plays out of the Dunkeld Curling Club. And of course all these girls in the Scottish team are full-time athletes.
Good job. Good, Eve. Good. Nice mate. See there? Ja. Skönt spår, va? Ja, jättefint spår. Min var typ 10-4, va? Ja. 10-0. Okej. Ja, din andra. Din andra.
So here's the Swedish skip, Anna Hasselborg, project manager from Stockholm, plays out of the Sundbyberg Curling Club in Stockholm.
Playing a nice controlled weight there.
Anna was the world junior champion in 2010 in Flims. Hasn't quite established herself on the senior stage yet, but as we said earlier, some of the results they've had this season would suggest that that they're just about to step up to the mark. Eve Muirhead, on the other hand, no stranger to success on the international stage. World Women's Champion in 2013 in Riga in Latvia.
So Sweden here hoping to blank this end and take the last stone advantage into the second end.
Yeah, as we said, this has been a pretty kind of standard first end, and most of the games you look across the arena don't tend to have too many stones in play at the start. And these are the kind of shots that Anna Hasselborg will make in her sleep. So good at throwing the high hard one and makes that peel no problem, rolls out of play and retains the last stone advantage for the second end after one end. It's Scotland 0, Sweden 0. Underway in the second end of session 2, Lauren Gray leading the way for Scotland. And looks like Scotland are going to move it up a notch here, Rona.
Yep, they've asked for the centre guard this time. So Eve's ready to take the game on, put a wee bit of pressure onto Sweden. Which is good to see. Neither of these teams will be frightened to start taking the game on.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why the teams don't just blast everything out of play of their opposition stones, there is a rule for the first 4 stones of the end that any stones in that white area that they're swooping in at the moment, outside of the painted area, the house, can't be removed from play. They can be moved around but not removed, just to allow a few stones to build up and to make it a bit more interesting for everyone involved, really.
It's great for the game to have that rule because it makes it a lot more exciting, a lot more tactical, with a lot more stones in play.
Yeah, and actually with the improvement in ice conditions and the shot-making abilities of the players, they're even looking at ways to develop the free guard zone rule further, aren't they, Rona?
Yes, they are. So that will be interesting if that comes into force. You can see Lauren there just a wee bit heavy. She wanted to draw around the guard and be top of the 4 foot, but she just slid to the back of the house.
Yeah, just to clarify what we were saying before, the current rule for the free guard zone rule is that it's 4 stones. And then in the 5th one, the stones can start to be removed from the free guard zone. But some discussion and some trials have taken place around making it 5 stones, which completely changes the strategy once again.
It certainly does, and the skill set of the players too, because a lot of the seconds tend to be the strong hitters that can clear up. So yeah, they can't do that with their first stone and need to draw more, then it's a skill set change as well for the players. But it'll be interesting to see, because obviously with the 4 stone rule at the moment, we do get a lot more stones in play. So with an extra one, that would be even more exciting.
Well, definitely looks like we're going to get some stones in play here. We've got a couple of guards out front and a couple of stones behind the tee line as well. So both teams will be trying to rest their stones against those opposition ones at the back of the house to make it difficult to remove them.
So Sweden just come in a wee bit heavy as well. So Vicky's just drawn round. There's a line shot there. So you can hear the players always communicating in the hack with their sweepers about the weight that they're looking to play, so that they're all happy with what they're going to do.
Well, my Swedish is a little bit rusty, Rona, but I think they did consider throwing the peel there. And they've elected to go around the centre guard. Always a slightly risky tactic when you've got the last stone in the end.
It is, but they're probably looking at the fact that Scotland were back tee. They've got something to sit on there.
Well, a big mistake there, and a wall of guards protecting the 4-foot in our featured game. But over on sheet D, Switzerland and Norway. So Switzerland with the red stone in their in-shot position, and the Norwegian yellow stones all scattered around about. Looks like Felcher, the Swiss skip, drawing for 2 here. Norway had a bit of a rough start yesterday morning, losing some big ends along the way. So they'll be looking to try and get their first win on the board, and Switzerland dropping their first game surprisingly to the inexperienced Russian team. They're here this week, but that's a good start for the Swiss and a good confidence builder here in this early morning draw. Switzerland 2, Norway 0. Well, back in our featured game, that wall of stones in front of the house has got bigger, and now Sweden will open things up and clear these red guards.
Good shot there, open it up.
So now the shot stone, the Scottish red stone in the 4-foot red circle there, can be clearly seen from the hack. And Scotland are going to try and block that hole between the 2 yellow guards at the top of your screen.
So Anna, a left-hander, is coming down to hopefully put a guard on that red stone that's in the 4-foot to block it for Sweden. It's a wee bit shorter, but it still does the job of guarding the shot. The Swedish coach looking very pensive there. Don't know if that's an unhappy look or just a very thoughtful look. It's only the second end. So looking to peel the guard here. Oh, well, got a bit of a lucky result there. Logan knows the guard, but also managed to take the shot out of the house. She was going to open it. And there's Glenn Howard, another pensive looking coach this morning, the Team Scotland coach.
Yeah, still actively playing as well, but taking on a new role this season and supporting Team Muirhead.
Yes, great experience. Glenn Muirhead, very experienced and accomplished curler in Canada.
Glenn Howard even.
Glenn Howard, sorry.
Glenn Muirhead, of course.
I was too busy looking at Team Muirhead.
Glenn Muirhead, of course, is Eve's brother, who is taking part this week in the men's event.
Anna just trying to come round that guard, but a wee bit light of weight and caught the top guard.
Okay.
Maybe need to learn Swedish, Logan, so we know what they're saying.
Well, they're certainly willing to leave a few stones around here. That's another mistake there from Scotland. Sweden with the chance to get in here and lie to with the last stone. I don't think I would be overly comfortable with the situation if I was Sweden right now. There's a lot of debris out in front of the house there that Scotland can hide behind. And this looks a little bit speedy too.
Yep, comes into lie 2, but they're both quite far back. So it means Eve will be able to come round and lie short.
Bit of a let off there for Scotland, and now Eve is going to try and draw one around the guards.
Yeah, both teams have struggled a wee bit at this end with their weight.
Oh.
Some running on and some coming up short. So
Yeah, no, that's fine. I feel like this. What kind of weight are we up here?
Well, this is a real
Positive 10.
crucial shot here in the second end. Eve didn't get this one quite right, and Sweden did go into lie 3 then. There'd be some nervous moments here for Scotland early in this second draw.
Line's good, guys. 7. Oh, line's really good.
So you can hear Anna calling for the line, and it's up to the sweepers to judge the weight.
8. Line's perfect, guys. Not 8, not 8. We're 7.
So they're calling 7. So from a sweeper's point of view, that's above the tee line. So yeah, great shot there from Eve.
Yep, perfect draw there by the Scottish skip. And Scotland lying at 1 now here.
I could just see it coming down.
So that causes Sweden a bit of a problem now because they've got the hammer, so they're looking to try and score 2 at this end. And it's going to be a lot more difficult with all this cover out front.
Ja, jag håller med. Den där är bättre. Den täcker ändå halva den. Gå på den. Jävligt bra om man sätter den. Ja, sätter vi den här.
So Anna Hasselborg was looking there at maybe just raising the yellow guard up onto the red stone of Scotland, but having thought again, she's going to try and clear both guards, the red and the yellow in front.
Well, it's quite a sensible call here, really. I think they're partly just trying to open up the centre of play to make sure they can get one in there to score. If they get it really nice, they might be able to redirect one of those yellow guards onto the shot stone, so just watch out for that one.
These are the kind of shots Anna Hasselborg loves to play.
Yeah, it's not the hardest one I've ever seen her throw, but certainly a big take-out weight. Well, just hits a fraction too thin to get that redirect on the yellow guard. You know, here's another look, just hits a fraction too thin and doesn't get it onto that second yellow stone. Does open up the centre of play. So decision time here for Scotland. Do they try and get one into a position where they might be able to steal and score here in the second end, or do they get another one in there for insurance?
Yeah, I was thinking that, or do that. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, just normal. Yeah. Well, let's go like.
As long as we're always
Do you like normal?
yellow, then that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Eve could draw around
Oh, does it? Nose is good.
and lie two around the other guards, but
Yeah, go nose, Eve.
she doesn't want to leave a double on her two stones because Sweden are lying second and third shot.
But wait.
So, pretty safe call here, Logan, to hit the back one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the priority here for Team Scotland is to get in there and lie two in some way, shape or form. This looks like a good option to me. Of course, Scotland are in here lying two with one Swedish stone to come, then it'll be really difficult for a multiple score for Sweden. Well, that one maybe just took off a little bit, and Sweden will lie in second shot position. So a bit of a mistake there by Scotland.
Yeah, that seemed to take off a lot quicker than they expected. The only saving grace for Scotland is their stone's still guarded.
So maybe a chance here for Sweden to score two. More delicate shot required this time for Anna Hasselborg. Going to try and come around that yellow guard and chip the red out and stick around to lie two.
It's just not as big a pressure shot. If Scotland had nosed that back stone and been lying two, this would have been a bit more pressure on this shot for Anna, but she's only one against at the moment. So they're sweeping this one really hard. She's played a very gentle tap back weight. They're trying to hold it past the guard. Oh, and just caught the guard.
Oh, just the faintest of grazes on the guard takes it through, and Scotland get the first score of this matchup against Sweden. And after two ends, Scotland 1, Sweden 0.
Yeah, we were saying that was a miscommunication because you said same weight and I thought you meant same weight as draw shot.
Draw shot, and I was with
and you were thinking same weight as that.
Ah, okay.
So that was just us.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a third one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Anytime, Lauren, our time started.
I think they will take it on a bit, but I'll grab a bit short and then we can move it.
Okay, 3. Yeah.
Off then. Off, Anna.
Line's perfect.
Weight's good. We're all there. We're all there. We're probably
Top four.
It's curling back. It's curling back.
If you can get top four.
Third end underway. If you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the 2016 Gruyère European Curling Championships. Live from the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire, Scotland. My name is Logan Gray, and alongside me, 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie. Scotland against Sweden, our featured game. And Scotland 1, Sweden 0. Oh, the first time we've seen this tactic in the game, Rona?
Yes, Lauren played a great draw there into the house, but Sweden want to try and get their 2 with the hammer, so they're putting up a corner guard. Just a wee bit short maybe than they were hoping for, but it is a corner guard.
It's too straight. Okay, take your time. Yeah.
So you can hear lots of communication between the sweepers and the skip, making sure that they work the stone to the exact place that they want it to be.
Well, perfect setup really by the Scottish lead. It's a good one in close to the button and a nice guard on as well.
Perfect. Did she take her talent from yourself, Logan?
I don't think I could take any credit for that. If anything, I might have hindered her development in the past. So.
Not at all. I'm sure she's learnt a lot of her curling from her big brother. So Sweden are unable to remove that stone from play. So if that...
Well, will the free guard zone come into effect here? That stone may have just drifted out of play and is replaced. Here's another look at the sweeping. It's been a topic of much discussion over the last 12 months or so, and has resulted in a lot of rule changes, which have been generally welcomed. So that was a violation of the free guard zone, and you see the red stone has been replaced at the front of the rings and the Swedish stone removed. So that's what happens when that rule is violated. As we said earlier, it's just to make the game a bit more exciting and get some stones in play.
And that error from Sweden allowed Scotland to peel that corner guard to reduce the amount of cover that Sweden has.
Well, Sweden are going to try and move some granite around as well. Goes for the run back and just misses and no more. Sticks around for a corner guard. Well, back to sheet D, Switzerland against Norway. And there's a lot of red Swiss granite lying around here. And Kristen Skazlian with the unenviable task here of bailing her team out and getting that last stone in there to score. A really good example, this actually, of the advantage in having the last stone. It's the one unanswered stone in the end. So even if you have had an absolute nightmare of an end, then one good shot at the end can really save the day. Or it can pretty much end the game for you.
That's not the best result.
Well, it's a steal of 5. They lost a big 5 yesterday as well. So Norway having a start to forget here at this 2016 championships. And after 2 ends, it's Switzerland 7, Norway 0. Back in our featured game. Corner guards peeled, and it looks like this end's just going to be run through now.
Yeah, Sweden weren't able to take advantage of the corner guard that he'd put up earlier on. So now they'll just hit the end through, try and keep last stone advantage to score 2 at the next end.
Well, just sweeps that one to roll it out of play and not leave anything for Sweden to potentially make a freeze on. So nothing in play now. Going at this early stage in the game, what's the kind of general approach from the two teams? It's obviously a pretty close affair at the moment, so how does that affect their strategy?
It is, and you can see at this end, because Sweden lost one at the last end, they definitely wanted to put the guards up and go for it, but they also have to be cautious they don't go too gung-ho early on, because at least this end they had to keep it open. They've got last stone, so they've just kept it simple, kept it clean, and they'll go to the next end and try and get the multiple end then. So yeah, both skips are experienced enough to know when it's the right time to bail out.
Well, absolutely, and you certainly don't want to put yourself in a position like Norway have this morning after 2 ends, going 7-0 down. So
No, that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the skip to draw against 5. So skips don't mind drawing against 1 or 2, but not 5.
That was that move's nicer.
Better wait.
Move's nicer there.
well, Sarah McManus, the newest member of this team, skipped by Anna Hasselborg. Just kind of joined at the start of last season and really brought some extra firepower to the team.
So you see Eve just cleaning the stone there, taking away any debris that might be under the running band so that it doesn't change direction going down the ice.
Of course, Eve has qualified to represent Scotland at pretty much every international championship since about 2009. Rona, how easy is it to continually get yourself up for these competitions when you've done it so many times before?
Yeah, I think it's difficult for a team when you've been at the top to get back to these events, because that's the key. You want to be here, but they definitely will be up for it, because this is what they train day in, day out for, these major events, Europeans, Worlds, Olympics. They're the 3 main events that they want to perform at and want to be on that podium. So this is their everyday work goes into this week. So you know, getting here, all countries they'll run different qualifying events to get their teams qualified. And they had to qualify to get here. They don't just get an automatic berth. But in Scotland, it was only two ladies' teams that played off. Eve played against Hannah Fleming's team in a best-of-5 games, and Eve won the first 3 to qualify. So yeah, definitely that's their everyday goal, to be at these events and perform and come out on top at the end of the week.
Well, absolutely. If you spoke to any athlete in any sport, I'm sure they would say the pinnacle of their career is representing their country. And Eve Muirhead and her team so lucky to get to do it so often. Well, not quite as exciting in the end, this third end. Not as exciting as the second end anyway, but certainly looks like this third end is going to be blanked, just like the first one. Just that solitary stone in there to be removed. And once again, Sweden will try and roll the shooter out to preserve that last stone advantage going into the fourth end.
And the advantage really here for Scotland was Lauren's great setup of her first 2 stones at this end that put the pressure onto Sweden to have to start clearing. So it just shows the importance of the lead player in the game.
Nicely done, just chips it out and rolls away. Nothing in play, and the third end finishes with a blank. And after 3 ends, it's Scotland 1, Sweden 0.
No, I thought I did it and then you told me sändningen förra. Ja, jag vet, men jag trodde den skulle ta... Jag vet inte. Nej, jag sa att jag gick på den sidan. Jag gick förbi kameran.
Yes, keep it going.
Well, just the one super Vicky Adams out there just now.
Needs to go.
Hannah Sloan obviously not quite ready to start this fourth end.
Curling now.
Well, it looks like Lauren has her weight well at the start of this game. I think that's always the worry for a lead going into their first kind of European Championships is how quickly can I get my weight, because once you've got that under your belt, then you should be set for a pretty good week. It's certainly a very settling feeling.
Yep, and as you say, Lauren certainly got her weight here in this game. That's perfect first stone from her. So Sweden put up their corner guard.
Lauren Gray tournament accuracy 91%. Of course, that tournament accuracy will just be your stat from the first game, but generally that's the kind of stat that we're looking for an average throughout the week. The top leads will be shooting around that 90% mark or even more.
Needs to curl. Hard.
Eve coming out, helping Vicky sweep this one.
Keep going, Eve. Keep going. Keep going. Keep
So they're
going.
sweeping this one for line at the moment, really trying to get it over onto that center line to protect the stone in the button, and does a pretty good job in the end. Still a slight piece showing, and potentially the wrong side from a Scotland perspective, in that Sweden can play the come around to tap it through and roll towards their corner guard that they played with their first stone. Sophia Mobarek's not making as strong a start as Lauren Gray did in her first game, only 64%.
Well, swept that well, held it past the guard. That's a good shot.
Oh, here's another look, big scrub here from Sarah McManus, and Agnes Knockenauer sneaks it by the guard and pops the red through the house.
It's a nice weight to play that, Logan, because even if they did just chip the top guard, you're then splitting to give another couple of corner guards and you've opened up the shot. So it was a good weight that she threw.
So here's Vicky Adams, 79% for her first game. Looking for something kind of similar to Sweden, perhaps not looking to push it through. They'll try and lock one onto it and freeze against it. A little bit shy of weight and over curls into the guard.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what Sweden decide to do here when they are line shot. Because there is a way into that shot. A tight way through the guards, but there is a shot there for Scotland.
Agnes with 73% in her first game. So going to be coming on the anti-clockwise rotation with this one. Of course, you can turn the stone one of two ways. If you turn it anti-clockwise, it'll generally curl to the left from a thrower's perspective. Turn it clockwise, it'll go to the right. And it does tend to curl when the speed starts to come out of it. So it'll run straight for a long time and then kind of hook at the end. So here's another look at it. You see, starts it just a little bit off straight and there's a quick twist at the end.
So she was a fraction heavier than she wanted to be, so. But it finished in a pretty good place. Certainly puts the pressure on Scotland now. So this guard that Scotland put up earlier on, they're now peeling off.
Well, I think they were a little bit fortunate not to peel that other red stone close to the house there as well. They would have really been in a tough shape there with that corner guard in play. So at least from a Scotland perspective, the play stays in the centre of the sheet. Of course, when you have the last stone, you try and generate the play away from the middle of the house, and when you don't have the last stone, you try and clog up the middle to prevent the opposition throwing one into the middle with their last stone.
So Sweden's stones that are in the house are in a good position as their top tee. So it would mean Scotland has to move them. They can't just draw up to them. So they've tried to guard, but the guard's just a wee bit short there, Logan.
Yeah, and of course with the guards being a little bit longer, it just gives that bit more space for the stone to be able to curl and get right in behind it. Well, Anna Sloan, 76% for her first game. Spent quite a lot of time out this season with a cruciate ligament injury that she had operated on. The team did play in a competition in Wetsikon, which was last weekend, where Anna was able to be reintroduced to the lineup. So it'll be interesting to see as the week goes on if the rust kind of comes off Anna a little bit and gets back to the usual form that we see. That's a good shot there from Anna Sloan, pushes that stone through. Perfect shot, really.
Yep, that was a great result.
Anna Sloan with a slight advantage on that previous stone coming from the hack on the right-hand side of the centre line as a left-handed player. Well, back over to the car crash on sheet D. Switzerland 7-0 after 2 ends, and here's Norway with a draw to paint for 3. Should be a formality, really.
Yep, as we say, the bread and butter shots of the game. An open draw.
Well, I bet she's wishing that she'd thrown that one in the second end. Well, so it closes the gap and cuts the lead to 4 for Switzerland, and after 3 ends, it's Switzerland 7, Norway 3.
Or do you like the same? I think you need to play barrier. Okay.
So interestingly there, Sweden ignored the Scotland stone and drew another one round. So you can hear the communication between Eve and Anna there. Just making sure they're both quite clear with the weight that Anna's to throw.
Really gotta go!
Well, they don't want to wreck the guards here. Is it past the guard? Oh, just. Well, gets one of them out there, just over curls by a fraction though, and Sweden still lying 1.
That's fine, good.
Yeah, that was well held by the sweepers there. Sweeping really hard to hold it past the guard. Vicky Adams and Lauren Gray will be glad they've put all those hours in at the gym.
Well, absolutely. At the end of the day, that's the reason they do it, is to make shots that shouldn't have been made. Sarah McManus played well yesterday, 84% in her first game. Really needs to make sure she gets to the inside of this red. Doesn't manage to do that and rolls out of play. Can sometimes just be the criticism of this Swedish side, and when they do have a kind of straightforward takeout like that, just throwing it a little bit too hard and losing some of that control. And perhaps Scotland off the hook here, Rona.
Definitely advantage to Scotland now, because that Swedish counter is back tee, so Eve will be able to draw around the centre guard and lie shot on top of that yellow stone.
Give Muirhead 77% start to the tournament.
Eve might even be tempted to tap this one back to lie 2.
Well, absolutely. I think a piece of the stone can be seen from the hack, and this is really the kind of the preferred situation for the team without the last stone. If they can force the opposition to face 2 stones, 2 Scottish stones in the house with their last stone, then it prevents them from making that multiple score that you're looking for with the last stone advantage. Nicely done by the Scottish skip.
Great shot there. And that's where, when the guard is that wee bit longer, it allows the stone more time to curl as it passes it. So now it's a big decision for Sweden.
It really was a very poor shot, the previous one from Sarah McManus. We talk a lot about the tolerance for certain shots and what's an acceptable miss and what's not. And that one, she just missed it on completely the wrong side. She really let Scotland off the hook here in this 4th end.
Till att vi skott? Ja. Vad vill du ha då? Typ 0-10?
So Anna Hasselberg there, stats of 77%. So the 2 skips have started this competition roughly with the same performance level. And
well, here's our first look in the game at this hog-to-hog split timer that you can see in the bottom of your screen. Generally yesterday we were seeing about maybe 14.5 seconds to get to the tee line, so quick ice conditions here in the Braehead Arena. 14.1. Should get all the way to the tee line.
great shot there.
Absolutely, and the ice conditions won't be the same at all times throughout the game or throughout the week. It's very much part of the game, the teams monitoring the ice conditions so that they can make the shots that they want to make.
And also with it being a busy schedule of men and ladies games alternating all week, the ice gets a lot of hammering with all the sweeping, so different draws at different times of the day, because we're starting at 8 o'clock in the morning and still playing at 10 o'clock at night. So the weight could change dramatically throughout the day. So the players need to monitor what it's running at.
Quite dependent on the weather as well, Rona.
Yes,
which is quite changeable itself in Scotland.
Very.
So Sweden make an excellent freeze. Scotland really just trying to make sure that Sweden can get in for a second one.
That's fine. Good Eve. No sweat. Okay.
Comes up a bit shy, and I just wonder if there's still an opportunity for Sweden to make a second one.
Yeah, Eve's shot's just a wee bit shorter than she was hoping for there to block the draw. So there is a chance here, if Sweden come round quite tight to that top guard, that they can get a second shot in there.
Tänk att vi ska dutta lite. Ja, vi har lite mindre is.
Spelar du 2 sten till i fart, eller?
Ja, exakt så. Ja. Lite mer dit i fart.
Ja. Ta det lite lugnt i början då.
Ja.
Spela en halv meter mer i fart bara.
Ja, exakt.
Well, not much room to work with here for Anna Hasselborg with her final stone of the 4th end. She's really drawing to an inch.
So working it hard for line here to get it past that top guard, Scotland's. And she's done.
Oh, super shot.
Fantastic shot.
Super shot by Anna Hasselborg. Sweepers hammering that one all the way down the ice. A real team shot. And first multiple score of the game. A big let off there by Eve Muirhead, but a fascinating end really, Rona. The momentum swinging back and forth.
It was, because after the Swedish third hit and rolled out, it really turned the advantage to Scotland, but just shows you how quickly an end can turn.
So after 4 ends, it's Sweden 2, Scotland 1.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a third one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Fifth end, Sweden 2, Scotland 1. A super final shot in the fourth from Anna Hasselborg. And Scotland with the last on advantage for the first time in this game. Sweden throw a centre guard. Well, coming around to trying to come around the guard on the anti-clockwise rotation. It was interesting to try and read something into these things at the start of the end. You've obviously got 2 options on what side you can come around the centre guard, on the clockwise handle or the anti-clockwise, and sometimes that could be an indication of the team's strategy, Rona, can't it? About what your kind of thoughts on the opposition's strengths and weaknesses are, that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if you've played the team, well, these two have played quite a lot, Scotland and Sweden, before, so, you know, you learn as you play what the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition are. So Scotland are definitely, they'll come round the guard the way that they think will benefit them the most and put pressure onto Sweden.
Well, just slips past the tee line. A couple of mistakes early in the fifth end. Meanwhile, your first look this morning at Lena Nielsen, the Danish skip. Russia and Denmark both getting off to a winning start yesterday. And goes for a double takeout here, jams it, and gives up a steal of 1 after 4 ends. Russia 1, Denmark 0. You can feel the disappointment on Lena Nielsen's face there.
So Sweden drew round, but were just a wee bit heavy, so Scotland were trying to follow that in and freeze that. Just rubbed off it and left Sweden line short.
You've got to feel at the moment that both teams just not quite managing to get a real stranglehold on the weight. Quite a few of these ends of stones drifting past the tee line, and you've got to feel that whoever team can start to get their stones in front of the tee line first are really going to take control of this game.
Yeah, definitely, Logan. It's really key that you control that top of the forefoot to put pressure on your opposition.
So these free shots at the back of the tee line, almost more kind of containing shots, trying to nullify the opposition stones.
So Sweden as well have just run on there.
I think this hand. Okay. Back 12. Just move this to here.
So Vicky just clarifying there what weight she's to throw. So it's enough weight just to tap this shot back.
Wait, good. Let me down ahead. You want to go in. Yes, good. Hard for line.
Sweeper's working this one hard.
It's really light.
3.
Well, what happened there, I wonder?
Very light.
Well, a big misjudgment there, and Sweden now with a chance to get another one wrapped around that centre guard and maybe even lie 3.
Yeah, because if Sweden can manage to come in here top tee, that really piles the pressure onto Scotland with the centre being blocked when they have the hammer.
Tror ni 14-0 är bra, eller? Det tror jag. Det är typ samma sak. Ja, jag tror också det.
So Agnes sliding with the brush along the ice. A lot of the players have the brush up in their back for balance, but Agnes trails it along the ice.
Well, here's Inja Felcher with her final stone of the 4th end, facing 3 Norwegian stones. And the sweepers managed to keep that one straight to get a score on the board. High scoring game there on sheet D. It's Switzerland 8, Norway 3.
So with Sweden lying 3 in there behind the guard, it was time for Scotland to open up the front. They've got last stone at this end, so they need to be able to get in with skip stones. So a good double peel there from Vicky to open it up.
Scotland in a bit of trouble here. Those stones quite tightly packed in around the 4-foot. Don't think I would be standing that comfortably if I was Eve Muirhead right now.
I don't know, it's they've got last stone, the centre's now open, so it's looking better than it was. And those stones are just back tees, so.
Nej, vi behöver bara sitta. Vi behöver sitta.
Haken nära.
Behöver sitta.
Ligger nästan 12.
Behöver sitta. Wow.
So Sweden just trying to guard those stones. It's drawn a wee bit too far offline. So it'll give Eve the opportunity to hit what you can see of that stone on the tee line.
Well, this could be a big one here. We saw yesterday Rasmus Stjerne making full use of the lively conditions here in the Braehead Arena. Stones really sliding off one another in the house. So will we see a triple takeout here from Anna Sloan, I wonder? Well, gets 1 and nearly 2 away. Definitely improves the situation, but the play just slides right onto the centre line now.
Yeah, I think that's the only issue with going for the shots in the house. You're leaving that guard, but at least it did remove 2 counters off because Sweden were lying 3 in there. So it's definitely looking better for Scotland, although Sweden do have 1 on the button and guarded.
Well, Sweden will be looking for one right down on top of that Yellowstone, I would suggest. Anything short of that might create an opportunity for a run-back double for Scotland.
Yeah, and Sweden will definitely be thinking that now that Scotland's lying 2nd shot. They don't want to lose a 2 at this end when they've controlled the whole end. So she definitely wants to bring a 2nd counter in now. So the third player's just saying to the skip there that she can see that shot on the out-turn hand, in case Scotland were going to come through there to tap back.
Well, a key shot here in the 5th end. Sarah McManus laying the draw on the clockwise rotation.
So line for this shot is key here. Again, they're just coming in with that ounce of running. So that's helped Scotland out a bit now.
Well, it makes a big difference if you can get your stones in a line. It's difficult to remove them when they're in behind the guard, and instead they're side by side, so there might be that option to rest between them, or something a bit more to aim at.
I like that. Hers was running weight and it really dived in.
I'm tempted just to see a little bit less.
Okay.
So Anna Sloan, left-hander, coming round, just wanting to tap this back.
We're back 12. Hard, whoa. No. Vicky.
So it's all about the line here and getting that one back.
Hard. That's good. Good shot. Good, Anna.
Well, just kind of rumbles them around a little bit, but doesn't really massively improve the situation for Scotland.
I don't know, if I was Scotland right now, I would be happier because I've got second and third shot and I can see the shot on the other handle. So Sweden need to be very careful here.
Well, I think they're agreeing with you here, Rona. I think they're going to call the takeout on those two red stones. And perhaps if they get it absolutely spot on, then they could be lying 4 here.
Yeah, the perfect shot for Sweden here would be to hit that top one on the inside and roll in behind the cover to lie 2 behind that centre guard. Oh, Skip's saying no, don't sweep, but
On the wrong side again there.
Yep.
Sweden again perhaps a little bit guilty of trying to throw it too hard and sacrificing some accuracy.
Advantage Scotland now, so this is what we were saying earlier, that Eve can see that. So that yellow shot that's behind the centre guard, she can see enough of it to tap back and lie 2 to put the pressure right onto Sweden. But this is a great opportunity for Scotland now to set up their 2 at this end.
So that red stone there could well come into play to lie in second shot position here. This shot for Eve not a formality by any means though.
I think they quite like it at the moment. Nice tap back weight. And I think what Scotland have shown here is they're very good at these tap back weights where there's more control with them. And we've seen Sweden a couple of times throw the big high hard weight and really not get the result they're looking for. They're hitting in the wrong side. But that was a lovely shot by Eve, lovely weight, great line.
Well, absolutely. The difference here at times is just I think just a little bit more clinical with the shot execution, Scotland at times. And this almost looks like a bailout to me from Sweden. I think they're just going to peel that red stone next to Sarah McManus' brush there to only give up a 2.
Yeah, it's always kind of classed as a negative shot, this. Why is she not going for the actual shot? But because Eve just rolled in a wee bit, it would make that shot much harder for Sweden to follow Scotland there. So she doesn't want to try anything too clever and suddenly lose a 3 if she'd caught the guard.
Well, tries to just roll underneath to make the scoring area a bit smaller, but doesn't roll far enough, and Scotland can now use that one to catch their stone to lie 2. and put a score of 2 on the board before half-time. You might see that a little bit this week. There's some confetti falling from the roof. There's darts competition on here last week, and they must have had some sort of a confetti cannon, and the air conditioning units here in the arena are gradually, one by one, blowing each piece of ticker tape down onto the ice.
Just to add a new challenge and dimension to the game.
Well, it doesn't seem to be causing too many problems, at least.
No. So key shot here for Eve Muirhead to get that 2 back. They've played a great end here, Scotland. Really kept the pressure on Sweden. Yeah, so happy with the line there, and lovely executed. Shot for 2 for Scotland.
Yeah, so a good outcome there for the Scots, and they move back into the lead. And after 5 ends here in session 2, it's Scotland 3, Sweden 2. Session 2 here at the 2016 European Curling Championships. Here's Anna Hasselborg with the final stone of the second end. The glorious opportunity to push the Scotland stone through and get a multiple score on the board, and just grazes the guard on the way by, runs right through the house, and a steal of 1 after 2 ends. Scotland 1, Sweden 0. And then here in the 4th end, not really much room to work with at all there. Scotland with a stone on the back of the button. Sweden already lying 1, however. And a great piece of sweeping by Mobergs. And Knockenauer gets it down there onto the button to score 2 for Sweden. And after 4 ends, it was Sweden 2, Scotland 1. And then here in 5, Sweden again look to have the upper hand for a lot of the end. Just a couple of wayward shots letting Scotland off the hook, and then 2 perfect stones from Eve Muirhead. Gets the skip's deuce on the board. And after 5 ends, it's Scotland 3, Sweden 2. Well, our first look at Italy against Germany, and look at all those stones in the house. Here in the 4th end, it's Daniela Drindel with her final stone. And just needs to find her way into the forefoot here. Jensch and Obermann on the brushes. And they're already lying 1 in there. Needs to curl and needs to sit. And Georgia Apollonio just moves it far enough through, and it would only be a score of 1. And a tied game after 4 ends there, 2 each. Elsewhere, Finland 3, Czech Republic 1. Russia 1, Denmark 0 at half-time. And Switzerland 8, Norway 3. A big steal of 5 in the second end there for Switzerland, blowing that game wide open.
ska ta lite mer is så man kan våga gå med sol. Tror ni det?
Looks like it's less
Jag bara tänker
confetti
för
today.
så att det inte blir som en bild alltså.
Yeah, you were okay over there. We were.
Nej.
Yeah, but it was worse for them at sheet D, I think.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Last weekend there was a big darts tournament in here.
Ah,
So, and like, obviously loads of beer, and I think that was all from that.
so weird.
Well, here's the stats for the first half. Pretty even overall in the percentages. Scotland just a little bit more accurate on the hits, but Sweden just a bit more accurate on the draws. So it's been an interesting first half, really. Momentum swung back and forth in Scotland just with that solitary stolen point in the game so far. So the halftime break is over and we're ready to get the sixth end underway. If you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the 2016 Le Gruyère European Curling Championships, live from the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire in Scotland. Our featured game here in session 2, Scotland against Sweden. Scotland leading by 3-2 here in the sixth end. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie. Trying to guide you through this second draw. Sophia Mobergs, 73% for the game. Struggled to get her weight quite right. Both teams perhaps just a little bit heavy-handed at times and not quite managing to get their stones in front of the tee line to really control the ends. And Lauren Gray is a little bit heavy with her first stone at the end. You see at the bottom of your screen there. And the corner guard goes up for Sweden. So Lauren 87% for the tournament and 84% for the game. Well, you've been quite clear with her communication there and saying that she wants it short of the house, not in a scoring position. I think she knows full well that if she goes into the house and a takeout, it's going to be played by Sweden.
So the Swedish lead just trying to make use of our corner guard and draw around there. Sweeping that one hard to try and bury it behind the guard. Yeah, pretty good result there.
But then, I think this bit.
Okay, this is back.
Yeah, okay.
You like this?
It's just back tee, so Eve can follow that Swedish stone in. Get Vicky to draw in and freeze on top of it.
No, I think I have 15-20.
So Vicky Adams, 75% for the tournament and 78% for the first 5 ends of this game.
Okay, just
So pretty consistent.
No. Wait, Emily. It needs to go. Left lock. Here's good now. You gotta be here. We need to go. Go, Anna.
So you hear Anna Sloan saying we need to go. So the sweepers want to sweep for weight.
Hard. Whoa. Go. Well swept.
Good.
That's a lovely shot from Vicky Adams there.
Good, Vic. That's it.
And it finishes top tee, so Sweden have to try and tap back. They can't sit on top of it and lie short. So Vicky's counterpart, Agnes Knockenhauer, she's 76 for the tournament, but 83 for the game today so far. So she's having a good game today.
Drop
So she's trying to come round here and just tap this back. So passes the guard, but I think she's a bit shy of weight.
Well, this one's just going to over curl and get to the wrong side of that red stone.
Or round the centre.
Here's another look at it. Really sweeping this one for lines. Try and keep it up on the center line side of that red stone. Doesn't manage to do it, so Scotland looks like they're lying 2 at the moment, then with a chance to get in here in line 3 now.
Do you think a hair off up here? Because this bit seems to be a wee bit faster.
Up here.
Even if I get the inside bodies, we're good.
It'll bend in the second half bit.
This is a great opportunity for Scotland to come round and finish top of the tee to really put pressure on to Sweden. You can see Vicky's got writing on her hand there. Reminder what stone numbers she's playing. Obviously the players will have matched the stones the night before, and each player has their matching pair to throw the next day, so Vicky keeps a note of it on her hand so she doesn't forget. Working that one really hard there. That's a lovely shot from Vicky Adams.
Well, Sweden very much on the back foot here in the 6th end and choosing to try and open things up a little bit. Lovely draw there by Vicky Adams.
Sweden may try to take the guard and take the one in the house here. Ooh, just missed the one in the house.
Braehead. Take your time. You've got your weight good.
I can bend at the end and it does come.
So Scotland have got a great setup in the house, lying 3. And they're in a good position now just to guard.
Anna Sloan, 78 for the tournament and 85 for the game. So your eyes absolutely fixated on the brush there.
Vicky, you're going to keep it out there. I can't for weight. Okay, we need distance. I can't for weight. I need distance. We're 4-5.
We're 4.
We're all the way up to
We
it.
need distance.
4. It's to it.
No, Vicky, no, it's 6.
So the sweepers are saying it's a wee bit heavier than the guard weight they were looking for. So
Sorry.
you hear Anna apologising there, but still not bad there. It still gives Sweden
Round the back, round the back.
a lot of pressure.
Well, over on sheet C, a pretty uneventful first half in the game between Russia and Denmark. Just 1 point scored in the first 5 ends. And Lena Nielsen facing 2 Russian counters here, just drawing for one. Well, looks okay. Stephanie Riesdahl just had to nip out to get some of that confetti off the ice. Nicely done by the experienced Danish skip. Score of 1 for Denmark in the 6th there, and 6 ends played. It's Russia 1, Denmark 1.
So back to a featured game here. Sweden tried to remove 2 of the Scottish counters there.
Well, just in case you missed it, here's that double takeout attempt by Sarah McManus. Gets a couple of reds going at the back of the house there. And a good shot there by the Swedish third. Scotland only lying 1 now at the moment.
Yep, and from Sweden's point of view, the house is open. Well, more open than it was, so
Okay, probably running her yellow out regardless. Yes,
What do you mean by open, Rona?
it means that there's a way in for the skip at the end of the end. There's no guards over the centre line, although there's one at the top of the house. They can still come round that. So Scotland here need to get that second counter in just to put the pressure onto Sweden.
That's why I shouted you off it, because I thought it was going to overbend. That ice will be good.
So Anna being asked just to draw a second counter into the house for Scotland.
Absolutely. So that yellow stone at the front of the house there, that's going to really act as a guard, although it is in a scoring position.
Lauren needs to curl. Lauren needs to curl. Yeah, go Lauren. Hard, Lauren, we're good. Come on, hard.
So Lauren and Vicky working this one hard to try and get it to bend at the end.
It's good there. Good.
Very good effort there from Anna.
Well, a good shot. I think they would like to take it just a little bit further. Just look like quite a natural raised double here for Sweden.
Yeah, and that's with having no guards out front. Sweden are able to use their stone in the house. It's very close to that red stone.
Oh, sorry, having a good game at 89%. They won't get rid of the other red on the tee line here, but they can certainly free it up a bit. Must be close. Oh, just lost it, over curled a fraction and doesn't manage to get either of them.
And has actually rolled the shooter to the centre line now, so does act as a bit of a guard, which benefits Scotland and hinders Sweden when they've got last stone. Very unlucky when you see that just nick the red, but not enough to take it out the house.
Well, it's frustrating, isn't it, when you get so close to playing the perfect shot, but it doesn't quite come off.
I think so.
It's a long game, a game of curling, so the players do need to keep feeling themselves throughout. Games can last in excess of 3 hours.
So Scotland in a great position here.
80% for the game for Eve. Of course, the shot difficulty does increase generally as you move through the ends with more stones in play. So you would expect the skip's stats to be slightly lower than the likes of the leads. Anything above 80 is generally considered pretty good though.
This is looking good from Eve. Nice line. Yeah, great shot there from Eve. And so Scotland lie 3 and have really put the pressure onto Sweden now. You can hear Eve there, perfect. She's more than happy with that. No. So Sweden are calling a timeout. We want some advice from their coach.
Ja, precis. Ja, tillräckligt, absolut.
That was a full team effort, the decision-making process. And here comes alternate Maria Prutz.
I och för sig så är det skönt att öppna upp i mitten.
Ja, men till sista scenen.
Egentligen inte.
So we're not really sure what they're discussing, Logan, seeing as our Swedish isn't very good, but they'll certainly go through the options. Maria's a very experienced player, so we'll help them come to the right decision.
Just a reminder there, Scotland with the red stones lying 3 and Sweden with the yellows. And Rona, what's your kind of thoughts here? What's going through their minds?
I think they're looking at the options of whether they come off the red stone that Eve's just played and try and take the thin double there. I would be tempted to use that top yellow of your own as a raise, because then at least you're also, if the shot, the perfect raise doesn't work, you're then opening up that centre for your last stone. So it's looking at giving ourselves options here. Now, Sweden are only 1 down in the game. If they score a 1 here, they keep it close. They can't afford to lose a 3 at this stage.
I don't think I could agree with you more, Rona. I think running that yellow stone in and trying to clear the centre line to score one is the way forward. And I think they're starting to arrive at that thought process.
Yeah, they must have heard us, Logan.
Reasonably straightforward here to raise the yellow onto the red, but the real trick here is going to be trying to get the yellow stone in the house moving away from the centre line to completely open it up. You know what, if they get it a little bit lucky, they might be able to wiggle one down there off the white stone too. So.
Yeah, because it's also key where her shooter ends up here, because she doesn't want to leave it blocking the centre either.
Well, expect to see a bit of heat from this one.
Yeah, these are the shots Anna Hasselberg loves to play. They're on this the whole way, sweeping to keep the line.
Well, opens up the centre, play a nice shot there by Anna Hasselberg. Perhaps just hit it a little bit too thick in the end to slide one down there, but that's what they needed to do.
Yeah, it was a pretty good result for them, really. It kept the centre open with the shooter rolling out. And Scotland still lie 2 here, so you can see that Anna's nominating. They want it sitting in that 8 foot to lie 3, so it would block the draw for Sweden. And also, if they were to hit that on the nose, it wouldn't be shot. So if Eve can put this in that 8 foot place there where Anna nominated, then that would be a great result. So it's up to the sweepers now. They want this right into the 8 foot.
It's not there. Okay. I think that pick.
Okay, it's a good weight. It should have been. I asked if you held
a pick,
it,
Rona?
quite heavy. No, I didn't.
They're saying they wonder if it picked up. It died very quickly. They were quite happy when Eve had released the stone that it was good weight. So I don't know whether it's just caught a wee bit of debris in the ice there. But do you know what? It's still not an easy shot for Anna Hasselberg here. She's lying 2 against. She's got to make this draw. It's been a good end from Scotland here. Really putting the pressure onto Sweden. So Anna giving her stone a good clean there in case Eves did catch some debris. Making sure, giving it another clean to make sure that it doesn't pick anything up.
Oh, here's that hook-to-hook split timer again. We saw a draw, similar draw, in a similar path earlier in the game. Just arriving at the T line at 14.1, so that's the gauge. 14.2.
Can't be far away. As long as the line's good here, her weight's looking pretty good. Lovely shot.
Right down onto the 1 foot circle, Anna Hasselberg. Score of 1. And that ties this game up. Scotland 3, Sweden 3.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a 3rd one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
linje.
Borde vara där.
Gå väldigt rakt.
Ja, känns nära 12. Vi kan inte gå,
Kommer
det
mycket
ligger
nu.
12.
Den är ganska nära nu.
Det är 12.
Så det är nog in.
Datasten jävel.
Well, underway in the 7th end, and is that one in the house, I wonder?
If it's in,
Eve having a good look at it and just asking one of the umpires to reach for the 6-foot stick. The biter, some call it. Just to determine whether this stone is actually in the house or not. Makes a big difference because Scotland, of course, would like to remove that stone if possible. And if it is outside of the circles, then it can't be removed due to the free guard zone rule that we described earlier.
Probably controlled or normal.
I think for the nose.
You don't want him
Not
to
be
know.
nose, no, hit and roll. And if it's not in, then I'll come around with 5, hunting it out.
Yeah, she might throw a corner. Nothing's real.
No, because a blank's okay. Still coming round.
I would actually be happy to go away.
Well, these instruments always seem to be the furthest away point from where they're required, but we have managed to locate it.
Yes. Yeah, because the blank's okay. We don't.
So we'll just get a look here. If it does touch the stone, then it can be taken out, and if it doesn't,
Send. Okay.
then it can be. So it is in play, it is in the house, and not in the free guard zone, so Scotland will be keen to open up the centre and play the takeout. Rona has been an extremely tense and close game throughout. We're starting to get down to the business end of the game. What's the kind of general strategy here in the 7th end for Scotland?
Yeah, I think when it starts getting to the closing stages of the game, you know, it's good to score 8 and 10, so 8th and 10th end. So I think this end, even be too bothered if it was blanked. If she gets the opportunity to take a 2, she certainly would, but I don't think she'd be too upset to blank this end. Sweden obviously won't cover up on the guard to try and force Scotland to take 1 here, so Sweden really trying to force scoring, but because that first one slipped into the house, it allowed Scotland to hit. So you'll see a short one coming now from Sweden.
Well, Sweden do a better job of utilising the free guard zone rule this time. So Scotland can't play a takeout on that stone this time, and we'll have to draw around it.
So what's key here for Scotland now at this stage in the game? They want to keep things top tee. They don't want to go back tee and allow Sweden anything to freeze to start that build-up of a guddle behind cover. So top tee here would be good.
And for non-Scottish viewers, a guddle is a Scottish term referred to as a plethora of stones, all in close proximity, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So that was a great shot from Lauren there. So now earlier on in the game, you know, we may have seen Sweden trying to move stones about, but now they're quite happy just to come in and try and freeze this.
Could have been an option for Scotland there to split the rings and not get engaged around the centre guard like this. I think Scotland will be quite keen to maybe even blank this 7th end. They don't really want to be forced to just score 1 here. Well, nice shot there from Sweden, and that just kind of shuts down the scoring area a little bit for Scotland.
Yep, so Eve just nominating now to clear the front. She doesn't want to get into any trouble at the 7th end.
So the guard comes off. And we've got our first final here in session 2. Just 6 ends required for Switzerland to see off Norway. Final score there, Switzerland 10, Norway 4. So Switzerland pick up their first win of the week and go to 1 win and 1 loss, and Norway will need to wait until session 3 to get their first win on the board.
So Sweden working that one hard. They were trying to hit the inside of that stone and roll into the house. So they've left a corner guard on now.
Barrier! We're controlled! Lauren's took quite a jump here. Let's go control. Yeah, I like keeping it up.
Even if you roll to the right to the it.
Like that.
So just a raised takeout here, or sorry, just a takeout here really for Vicky Adams. Just gonna try and get rid of this yellow stone. Scotland with the upper hand here in the 7th end as far as their desired outcome for the end is concerned. And can they keep the shooter here? They certainly can, and they lie too. Lovely stone there from Vicky Adams.
That's a great shot. The sweeper's working this one really hard. And a lovely shot. So Sweden here looking just to hit and roll over towards the other Scottish stone. But I think it's just going to roll out the house. So not the result they were looking for from that.
Well, acceptable outcomes here in the end for Scotland would have been to either blank or get a multiple score, and they've now got a chance to make that multiple score to really open the game up a little bit. Another errant takeout there from Sarah McManus. Just doesn't seem to quite be as accurate as she usually is.
Yeah, the Swedish team struggling a bit today with accurate hitting. They're just catching stones on the wrong side. So great opportunity here for Anna Sloan to draw a second counter. So sweeper's happy with the weight at the moment. Great shot there from Anna. Lie 2 split across the house, so no double takeout on for Sweden. The only slight danger for Scotland here is that guard that's out the front for Sweden. If they maybe hit and roll behind that, it would cause an issue. But right now, Scotland are lying 2 and lying well.
Well, a good shot around the outside of the guard there from Sweden to get into shot position.
So Scotland just looking to replace this yellow stone.
Okay, does that look like a lot?
Yeah, it does actually.
Okay, you got this.
I'm quite happy to hit this in the nose and lie 2. So you hear him just saying clean just to make sure the no debris in front of the stone. Good shot there from Anna, lie 2.
No, it was fine. No, you're good.
I think that's the difference today, Logan, so far in this game, that Scotland are hitting the stones where they want to hit them. Sweden are just catching the wrong sides. And it may be weight dependent on what's getting thrown, but Scotland have certainly been in control of their hitting.
Absolutely, Rona. I think Sweden have had the upper hand at times in certain ends, and it's generally just been one errant takeout, and all of a sudden Scotland are right back in there and making the most of it. So Sweden at some point here in this 7th end will need to find a good hit and roll in behind cover if they don't want to lose a multiple score. The Scottish stones in the house extremely well separated at the moment.
She looks as though she's downed her weight a wee bit here to try and get that result. This time it just rolls too far.
Well, misses on the right side there, and at least brings the stones in the house closer together, so they might be able to get a double takeout on that last stone of the end for Sweden.
We roll to you, yeah, to the other side of the 8 foot. Other side of the 4 foot, I mean.
Oh, definitely a good position here for Scotland. You would expect that they're either going to get a blank end or a score of 2, which is exactly what they would have set out to do at the start of the end.
Yep, definitely. They're in a really good position now for their 2. So you can see the green lights come on there, so means the stone was released before the hog line. And they're sweeping this one hard though.
Oh, just hangs around on the end of the rings. I thought for a second Anna was a bit premature in announcing that it was a good shot, but finishes well.
Yeah, it's actually perfect because it's put so much separation between the 2 Scottish stones now.
Well, if anyone can make this double, it's Hannah Hasselborg. Here's another look. Graham Adams on the brushes, just managed to keep it. His nose up and sticks around to lie 2. Well, if anyone in the women's competition can make this double, it's Hannah Hasselborg. It looks extremely flat, but one thing working in her favour is that that red stone on the right-hand side doesn't have to move far to get out of the rings.
Now, I think we'll see her throw a wee bit bigger weight here than her last stone.
Well, big extension coming. There it goes.
It's never good. As soon as a skip throws her stone, they shout, whoa, straight away. So,
well, sticks around to lie shot, but doesn't really get anywhere near the double. So see generally that the players will create the speed with their momentum, but sometimes you just need to give it a little bit extra more at the end.
yeah, and that's the key when you do put that extension on at the end of the delivery, Logan, that you don't throw the stone off target, you know, because you're aiming at that brush, and a millimetre either way can make a difference, especially with a big weight shot like that. So with a big extension, you have to be very accurate.
Yeah, you need to do all of that and get it away before that red line, the hog line too. So here is the final stone in the 7th end, Eve Muirhead. Should be a bit of a formality here. A hit and stick to score 2.
So I'm quite happy with it at the moment, so looking good. Perfect.
Nicely done. And Scotland open up a 2-shot lead for the first time in the game. And after 7 ends, it's Scotland 5, it's Sweden 3. If you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the 2016 Le Gruyère European Curling Championships from Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire in Scotland. My name is Logan Gray, and alongside me 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie. And Scotland starting to look quite good, Rona.
Yeah, definitely, Logan. That 2 at the 7th has certainly helped the scoreboard, and you know, with 3 ends just to play, Sweden really need to start scoring now.
Would you say overall, Rona, Scotland are good value for their lead in this game based on their performances?
Yeah, I think Scotland have definitely dominated more ends than Sweden have throughout the game, so they've been the more dominant team. And I think, oh, Hannah trying to catch some confetti falling out the ceiling.
Yeah, we spoke about it earlier. There's lots of confetti in the roof that's gradually coming down one piece at a time. It's almost like they're trying to catch butterflies out there. Well, Lauren Gray winning the matchup at Leeds so far, 85 to 75.
Yeah, and the Leeds game's so crucial for the team. Their setup of every end, that's that's what dictates the way the end carries on. So it's so important for the lead to get their stones in the correct place. So Lauren's first one was a wee bit heavy and it went back to Eve, so Eve's brought the second one in. So they just really want to keep the pressure on Sweden now. Eve's happy to keep the stones in the house. She doesn't need the cover out front. And Sweden calling for a second corner guard here.
Well, and part of the tactics involved is trying to anticipate what your opposition is going to do next. And I think Eve could have assumed that Sweden were going to throw another guard here. So took the opportunity to stick another one in the house.
So Scotland will now start peeling these corner guards to eliminate cover for Sweden. Now Vicky Adams very accurate with these big weight shots. Ooh. Just nudged her own stone in the house back. They're wanting it just to stop on top of that 4-foot circle, the red circle, but just slipped a bit further.
Yeah, it just moves it
Further back, it was probably not great.
in a slightly more usable position for Sweden. At some point they could just try and bump that red stone back and create a pocket for their own yellow stone to be frozen in.
Yep, so Sweden have got their one corner still up, so they're now playing on this shot in the house because it is very close to the centre, so they don't want to ignore it at the moment. They need to bring this one right in on top. She's working it hard. Oh, just come up short.
Well, again, Sweden just not quite getting the tolerance quite right there. They'd like them to make sure they get down there to that red stone and move it a little bit. So it's a straightforward takeout here for Vicky Adams.
Yeah, good peel out there from Vicky. They don't want stones lying about. Scotland at this stage are happy for their shooters to be rolling out and not leave stones that will benefit Sweden.
Pretty even matchup at second. 85 plays 83. It's going to be the same shot again here from Agnes Knockenhauer. Just get down there to that red shot on the button and maybe tap it back a foot.
Just a slightly higher line with a wee bit more running there, so they could have maybe had taken that to the back one if it was heavy, but it's not a bad result there.
No, absolutely. The problem now for Scotland is that all the play is going to go behind the tee line, and the possibility of Sweden drawing behind the corner guard at the top of your screen becomes more of a possibility. So Easy to get the yellow stone out here. Difficult to remain lying too.
Yeah, because even if the red and yellow go, it still leaves one Scottish counter.
Anna Sloan just pipping Sarah McManus at the moment, 86 to 80. So just a couple of errant takeouts from Sarah McManus, just bringing her stats down a little bit. Oh, disaster here for Scotland. Double takeout on their own, 2 red stones and leaves. Sweden lying in shot position. That was always the risk. Now Sweden can come around the corner guard. This is how it happened. Just hit that first one too thick. And slides by the yellow stone they were trying to remove.
Yep, so this now gives Sweden the opportunity to bring their corner guard into play and draw around there. To try and build up a 2 at this end. It's a nice line coming in.
Well, again, they've just run a little bit too far there, and I wonder if there's a chance for a double for Scotland. Would have liked to keep that one high of the tee line. Meanwhile, over on sheet A on the other side of the Braehead Arena, Italy and Germany. So here's the Italian skip, Federica Apollonio. And it's a lovely hit and stick. And Italy take a 2-shot lead over Germany. Both teams losing out yesterday. After 7 ends, it's Italy 6, Germany 4. Well, back in our featured game. Good attempt at the double takeout from Scotland, but just turned out to be a little bit too flat. Oh, there's another piece of that pesky confetti that keeps falling.
So Scotland line 2, but Sweden now with the upper hand and the head's open and they have got that counter behind the corner guard. So they're needing an error from Scotland to bring that one into play. Just taking that over to try and eliminate a double. But it's still there, Logan.
Yeah, well, with these nose hits, the stones do just get a little bit higher in the house, and it does look like there's a bit more angle between the 2 yellows, and that would allow Scotland to generate the speed to go for the second one as well.
The key thing is that Scotland lie 2 after this shot. Even if they don't remove that other counter behind the corner guard, as long as they lie 2 spread across the house, it means then Sweden can't remove them both.
Well, Eve gives it the old heave-ho. First, the harder you throw the stone, the straighter it'll run, so it didn't take much ice on this one. Has she got the double? She has.
She has. Perfect.
Super shot by Eve Muirhead. Scotland lying at 2. Now let's take another look. Desperately trying to hold it, but hits it absolutely perfect and just punches that yellow out the side door. Good footwork as well there by Lauren to leap over the running stone.
So now Sweden have lost that advantage of hopefully getting a 2 at this end.
Anna Hasselborg winning the battle at the 4th position.
So she needs to try and freeze that Scottish stone, put a bit of pressure onto Eve.
Well, difficult shot this freeze out on the wing, no guards in play. Freeze is generally referred to as the hardest shot in curling.
Yeah, by a freeze you don't want any bounce, you just want to rest right on top of the stone. So it's weight, line, absolutely everything's got to be perfect. And that line's, her weight's actually very good, the line just was a wee bit on the high side.
Oh, should be a very straightforward take out here for Eve. Just needs to be a little bit careful to preserve that red stone next to the yellow. They'll want to keep 2 red stones around to ensure that Sweden do score here in this 8th end, just to get that last stone advantage back.
Great shot there from Eve. Lie 3 Scottish counters. Force Sweden to draw for 1. So Eve will be happy with that situation, Logan. They're 2 up and they've certainly forced the 1 at this end. If Sweden can draw the shot.
Oh, absolutely. We've not seen that many draws from Anna either. We did see her play an excellent 1 for 2 in the 4th end. And it will be exactly the same path. We're going in the same direction as we were in the 4th end, so you should know this line pretty well.
But when it gets to the closing stages of the game and you're facing 3, that's when the nerves of steel need to come in.
Yeah, so a must make here, final stone of the 8th end. Anna Hasselborg to keep the game alive really for Sweden.
The sweepers are on this one early. She's got to be right in the forfeit circle. Working it really hard.
Wow, great sweeping. Anna Hasselborg even joining in there. It gets down there quite comfortably in the end, and it's a score of 1 for Sweden in the 8th end. And after 8 ends, it's Scotland 5, Sweden 4.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a 3rd one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Five games for the price of 1 here in the Braehead Arena. And we're on the end sheet here, sheet E, Scotland and Sweden. Scotland with a 1-shot lead and the last stone advantage here in the 9th end. And a very good looking 2nd half, taking your 2s and forcing your 1 for Scotland in the 2nd half of this game. Still some work to do though. 2 ends remaining. And I think it's fair to say that Sweden have had the upper hand at times in this game, Rona.
Yeah, there's a couple of ends that could have gone their way, but unfortunately they hit the stones on the wrong side and advantage went to Scotland. But yeah, 2 ends to go. There's only 1 in the scoreline, but I would favour Scotland's advantage right now. They've got last stone at this 9th end and they're 1 up, so they're happy to blank here or take multiple score.
So Scotland are going to draw the wing here. It's not a tactic we've seen used in this game so far. Rona, what's the kind of thinking here?
Yeah, Eve wants to keep play away from that centre line because Sweden right now, they want to build that guddle behind the centre guard. They want everything towards the centre, and Eve wants the centre open when she's got last stone. So it's really important for Scotland just to keep play out to the wings.
Yeah, so we're expecting to see quite a defensive ninth end here from Scotland. And Sweden will be pretty gung-ho, you would think, here. They won't want to see this end blanked.
Yeah, Sweden will be even happy if they can force Scotland just to take a 1 at this end and go into the 10th end 2 down. That's still acceptable for Sweden at this stage, but they certainly don't want to lose a multiple end, so they want to put cover up and gamble, but they don't want to lose a big end. So Scotland want this to finish top of the tee so that Sweden can't use it to freeze.
Well, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here, Rona, to be honest, because I watched the game last afternoon between Scotland and Italy, and they were in exactly the same position here in the 9th end. They drew the wing, and then they came around the centre guards and went back at the tee line and almost got themselves in a bit of a mess. So, I mean, for me, I would be tempted to draw the wing again there, just to do exactly what you were saying, to keep the play away from the centre and really give the Swedes something to think about.
Definitely, you know, that's a key shot, that second draw there, because it has to be top tee. It's better not there at all than actually back tee, because it's advantage to Sweden when it's there. So yeah, you could draw the wing, but you know, by the ninth end you would hope that you would be able to draw top tee. So it's, yeah, see, the Sweden have just, they've bumped it a wee bit though. They should have just frozen that perfectly. But it gives Eve the opportunity now to peel the front guards and get that centre open.
Well, absolutely. I'd say the criticism of the lead stones for Sweden was that they just left them a little bit too close together. So there's a real chance here for Vicky Adams to make a double. Well, hits it on the nose, leaves a stone in the centre line and removes the one on the wing. So quite a nice looking setup really here for Sweden.
Yep, certainly at the moment they're in a good position. They've got a shot in the house and they've got a centre guard. So really Sweden here could be coming right into the house, or they could leave it short. They certainly don't want to overthrow this.
Well, this looks like a huge miss. We've seen them going back tee time after time, and this time another glorious opportunity, and they've overcurled into the guard. So big let off there from Sweden. Meanwhile, over on sheet C, we're in the 9th end. Only 2 points scored in the whole game. And here's Victoria Moisieva throwing her final stone in the 9th. You never know, we might get another score on the board here. Well, actually goes for the blank and is going to be forced to score a point in the 9th end. Big mistake there by the Russian skip, not managing to keep that all-important hammer for the 10th end. And after 9 ends, it's Russia 2, Denmark 1. I'm glad that's not our featured game.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of stones in play here. So an error from Sweden when they tried to come round that guard. They caught the guard and left the shot in the house open for Scotland to hit. So Anna now just going to hit this. So Sweden don't want to lose a big end here. So advantage was Sweden's the early part of this end, and it's now turned a wee bit in Scotland's favour.
I think this is quite an interesting situation for me, and Rona, maybe demonstrate some of the differences between the men's and the women's game. I think in that sort of position, I think you would see a lot of the men's teams being much more aggressive to really push hard to steal this end, or at the very worst, force Scotland to score. And that takeout at the back of the house is a real example of that. I think we'd seen a lot of the men's teams, and maybe even the likes of Eve's team throwing a draw there.
Definitely, when they're down in the game, they have to put the pressure on the opposition, and they had 2 guards there that they could have used. So I would have liked to have seen them draw around the guards, but they've just bailed out so they don't lose a big end instead of actually trying to put the pressure on Scotland.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think it's at this stage of the game, it's about how much risk you're willing to take to give yourself a realistic chance of winning the game. And I mean, if I was out there playing just now, I would be quite willing to put myself in a position to lose the game to give myself a better chance of winning the game, if you know what I mean. Because
definitely
you've
got to take these risks, Logan.
Yep.
You know, if you want to win, you need to take risks. It's risk versus reward, and at this closing stage of the game, Sweden are really needing to put the pressure on to Scotland. Oh, and this is another poor shot from Sweden here. They had cover, they had backing, and they were light. So now Eve's in the position of, yeah, she's going to call a timeout and get some advice from the coach here. Because she's happy to blank, but now she's in a position where she could score 2.
What if you come round the corner this way?
Well, that was my next call. I just
turn round the corner this way. Round the corner. Oh, you think round? I just don't know that's an easier shot. That's ideal if you can get top 4 this way.
If we come round here, she's playing the hit and roll in the back one, or the hit and roll in the back one. But as long as if we can touch 4 foot, I like round the centre. Yeah.
So Glenn Howard, the Scottish coach, coming down.
Yeah, multiple-time world champion and one of the great curling minds, I would say, out there.
My main worry here is that it's blocking. There's quite a lot of. We're just quite blocked up to get to the draw button here.
Because if she ever gets one behind there, she's got a good chance. If we could ever get rid of these 2 rocks, we're in great shape.
Okay.
Problem is, well, how do we get rid of it?
I know.
It's kind of a half.
Okay.
I guess even if you hit half the red and the red spills in the corner, we score 1 here.
Yeah.
Blank's a bonus. We just don't want her to steal.
Okay.
Right? And I think that's
just thick half's pretty close.
I think thick half.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thick half.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good with that?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, some pretty concise instruction there, Rona. Do you want to bring us up to speed?
Yeah, so you heard the coach there saying happy to blank here. The last thing Scotland want to do is give a steal to Sweden. So the only danger to Scotland are these guards if Sweden got in behind them. So the plan is to try and remove both these guards right now. And then it would eliminate that cover for Sweden. You know, at a different stage in the game, you would be drawing into lie 2, but right now at the 9th end, it's key that they don't lose a steal here.
Not perfect.
Not perfect. They removed one, but not the other. So still leaves cover. But it looks as though Sweden are going to hit this.
Well, again, it's just another example of that risk against reward. I think you'd probably see a lot of teams maybe trying to freeze that. Do have an opportunity to make the hit and roll and get under cover here, though.
Yeah, the only thing is if Sweden do get the roll perfectly, they are going to be back tee, so it makes, you know, a fairly straightforward draw for Eve. It's different if it's top tee and you can roll. And that's why I thought she might have gone for the draw here. Wanting this to curl a wee bit more to get the roll. Just hits it on the nose.
Well, I think Sweden have called a really good game for the first 8 ends, and I think they're just They're just making life too easy for Scotland here in the 9th, really.
Yeah, they're really not putting the pressure onto Scotland. Eve will be more than happy right now playing this 9th end the way that it's gone so far.
Yeah, okay. Barrier. Yeah, this is the stone that might finish just a wee bit more. Okay. Barrier's good. Yeah.
So you heard Eve saying she's playing barrier weight, so that's enough weight for the stone to reach the barrier. So it's a more controlled takeout weight.
Well, this one's all about the stone positioning here. They won't want to roll underneath the guard here and leave something for Sweden to freeze against. So it does look like it's still open.
Yeah, so here the result of this stone's key for Sweden. They want to roll behind the guard, so it forces Eve to draw for one.
Känsla är ju typ säker sarg, max nästan.
So that red stone fully seen from the hack for Anna Hasselborg. Eve Muirhead watching on.
Samma! Samma! Lite till va? Lite till! Lite till! Kom igen nu! Nej! Har vi andra? Nej! Nära!
So a wee bit more controlled weight here from Anna. It's a wee bit of a roll.
Lovely shot there by Anna Hasselborg. Rolls a stone over, and that may well be hidden.
I think Eve, because Eve only needs to see a piece of that to be able, because she wants to hit and run out the house to blank the end. So as long as she can see a piece of that.
I think so. Yeah, okay. Like this?
Well, it looks like Scotland are accepting that that shot was good enough to force them to score one. Probably only a bit more than a quarter seen from the hack.
I don't mind taking. Yeah, same.
Well, the instruction from Glenn Howard was do not lose a steal here. If we blank or score one, that gives us a great chance of winning the game. So Eve Muirhead not pushing too hard to go for the blank.
No, she can see enough of it just to tap the stone back, because the guard's short enough to give time for the stone to curl past it. So she's just playing a steady weight here to tap it back.
I don't remember throwing too many draws today, so maybe that being part of our shot selection process. This one's over curled. Well, will they get lucky? Looks a little bit wide. And looking for a big spin back in towards the 4 foot. It doesn't come, and it's going to be a steal of one here in the 9th end. The cautious approach works for Anna Hasselborg. And after 9 ends, it's a tied game coming home. It's Scotland 5, Sweden 5. You're watching live coverage of the 2016 Gruyère European Curling Championships live from the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire in Scotland. And we're into the final end of Scotland against Sweden here in the second women's session. And it's a tied game coming home. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me, Rona Howie, 2002 Olympic gold medalist. And it's going to be an exciting finish here, Rona.
Yeah, definitely. Peel's playing the last end, can't get any closer. So I would favour Scotland right now, as they've got last stone advantage. So Scotland here will want to keep the centre clear. Sweden will want to junk it up. So Lauren going for the tick shot. She can't remove that yellow stone from play because it's short of the rings, but she's just trying to split it across. They're working it really hard. Oh.
Well, just flicks that yellow guard. Doesn't quite move it as far as they would like, but is it into the house? That might well be able to be removed next time. Well, we've not talked too much about the stones here today, Rona, but I think just by watching the lead's reaction to where the brush was put down, this stone may be a little bit more curly than the rest. They aren't all the same, and it is part of the game, really trying to get them all sussed out and how they'll run down the ice.
Yeah, definitely. Some stones will cut more than others, so when they match the stones, it's really important to know how the stones are reacting on the ice so that you can play those in the appropriate positions in the team.
Yeah, well managed there by Sofia Mobergs.
Your clock is not running, right?
Yeah, it is. Excuse me. Hello.
Okay, we can measure it.
Hello.
Oh, he's trying to get the attention. Her clock was running there, but they're having a discussion whether this stone's in the rings or not.
No, we're going to get the biter out again. Some good airtime for the umpires today.
Still half asleep.
We had the same kind of situation a few ends ago.
I think it's in, but we're measuring it.
Just trying to verify whether the stone's in the house or not, and whether the free guard zone rule is in effect on this number 6 stone.
99% sure
So Raquel's from Canada is going to just confirm whether it's in or not.
Yeah. Eve doesn't think it is in. Anna's 99% sure it is in. And Anna's correct.
It's in. That makes quite a difference to Scotland because they can now hit this. If they couldn't hit that, then it's giving Sweden the chance to build up that block of granite at the front. Because the second guard for Sweden is quite a long guard, so it wouldn't benefit them hugely as the end progresses.
Oh, and that makes Lauren's previous shot all the better as well. So gets it away slowly. So the rotation really taking that one into the dead zone at the back of the playing area there.
And Anna's aware that that guard's too long. She needs a closer guard to the house, so she's asked for a second guard here. They don't want to bring this in, they want to just leave it short of the house. Yep, that's a great shot there.
Well, that's what they didn't manage to do in previous ends, is get that good separation between the two stones. And with them being directly in line as well, it's difficult for Scotland to make a double and get the shooter out of play. If not impossible in this instance. So just a single peel.
Yep.
Well, another game coming to its close here. The final stone in the 10th end on sheet C. Russia upsetting Switzerland in the first round. And here's Lena Nielsen of Denmark, also winning yesterday. So it looks like the sweepers are begging for this one to stop. Just needs to find the 4 foot. And this one is going to go right through the house. And can you believe it? A big mistake there by Lena Nielsen costs Denmark this game in the second session. And Viktoria Moiseva and her Russian team get their second win on the board at their first European Championship. Final score there, Russia 3, Denmark 1. So Rona, no Anna Sidorova this year, and Russia still making a bit of an impact.
Yeah, it's a new young Russian team, and they've certainly come out the blocks firing, winning first 2 games. So a great start from them.
Well, a bit of cat and mouse here, really. Anna Hasselborg fully focused on the job in hand. And what's the general kind of approach here for Sweden?
Yeah, Sweden still trying to just continue to block up that front, hopefully leave some cover even to Anna's stones to draw around. So they're putting up the long guard over that short one that's currently there, and Scotland will just keep peeling these off. Scotland hoping they bring a guard too far and maybe like this one and leave a double peel. So if Anna can clear both these guards off, then Scotland's in a very good position. And that's where stone positioning, Logan's so critical at this stage in the game. It's the 10th end, and these guards have to be in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. The last time they were perfectly in line like they are this time, but with them being that much closer together, then Scotland can really force an angle to maybe make the double peel and get the shooter going as well. So here it is, Anna Sloan. Something just like that, super shot. And Scotland open the playing area right up and take a real stranglehold here in this 10th end.
Yeah, definitely advantage to Scotland now. That was a great shot from Anna, but made easier by Sweden's error by bringing their guard too close. So now Sweden will just continue to put up a centre guard, and Scotland will continue to open it up. But now Scotland could only be facing most 1 guard rather than 2. So that was a key shot for Anna in this game.
Well, and from a Swedish perspective, then I think when you're in that position, then your heart just sinks a little bit. You know you're really going to need a big miss from your opposition if you're going to win the game.
Yeah, definitely. They have to rely on an error from Scotland now to give them a chance. But it's back to what we said at the 9th end, Logan. You know, you've got to take chances and risks in the game if you want to win. And Sweden gave Scotland a chance at this end for that double peel and made Scotland's life a lot easier at this end. Right now, if I was Eve with 2 stones to play, you'd be quite confident that you're going to win this game. Anna asking her team some advice. What should we do with this stone?
I think that she's basically asking them to pull a rabbit out of the hat. There's not a lot they can do really here.
Yeah, they've got no stones as cover, to act as cover for them, and she's just thinking, well, if I put it in the house and Eve maybe noses it, then she could draw around it.
So no timeout remaining here for Sweden. Yeah, I've got plenty of time to discuss this. It's still under 5 minutes remaining, and we are using thinking time rather than playing time, so only 2 stones to be delivered in that 5 minutes.
There's Kelly Schaefer, who's the 5th player for Team Scotland this week. She's been very instrumental. The team getting here, she had to play when Anna was out injured in the qualifier. So been a big help for Team Muirhead this year.
So I'm not sure what they arrived at here. I think personally I'd just be throwing another guard, but may well be going into the house. Anna Hasselborg, perfect in her draws today. She's played pretty well overall. It certainly looks like she's going to come up a little bit shy here against the home nation.
Yep, so just putting up another guard. So Eve will try and peel that one off.
Oh, absolutely, and she's done that knowing full well that Eve's going to play the peel on that guard. She's just really praying for a huge mistake on the Scottish skip's part.
Yep, and the way Eve's been playing in this game so far, it would be a huge mistake if she didn't make this, because she's had a great game today.
Oh, just a 63% on her 4 draws, but hitting extremely well, 86%. Oh, and there is that huge miss. Can you believe it? And Sweden still alive here in draw 2.
I think that's a commentator's curse, that was we call it, Logan. But yeah, that's a very uncharacteristic miss from Eve Muirhead.
Just a wee bit, yeah. So straight there.
I'm saying the ice runs quite straight in that part. So this certainly gives Sweden the opportunity to draw round. It's important she's top of the tee here. So Anna communicating with her sweepers there just to make them fully aware of exactly where she wants this stone to finish. I suppose from a Scotland point of view, Logan, the consolation is the guard's quite long. So if Anna does come round here perfectly, Scotland should still be able to come round to the shot.
Absolutely, Rona, and just slightly off the centre line as well. That just gives probably a couple more feet for Eve to work with her final stone. So here's Sweden's final stone here of this 10th end. An unlikely opportunity.
So sweepers quite happy with the weight at the moment.
Well, she was 100% for her draws coming to this one. She's played another beauty here, and look how small the scoring area is now all of a sudden. Just the 1 foot to work with.
Yep, Eve just needs to follow that in. If anything, Sweden were just a couple of inches too far there. Because if it just stopped shorter, then it would have been a bigger decision for Eve whether to try and tap it back to move or whether just to draw the button. But, as they say, this is what the skips are paid for at the end of the day, Logan. The button's open, so straightforward draw to the button.
Certainly prefer it to a double takeout anyway. So, an anti-clockwise draw, just the 1 foot to work with. As you said, heard Eve say she can just kind of come against the yellow and rub off it, so she does have that little bit of room for error. Final stone of the 10th end, Eve Muirhead with the potential game winner or loser. It all comes down to this final shot.
Yep, she's looking good. Looking good.
Well, she makes life difficult for herself, but she absolutely thrives on these big final shots. Super draw there by Eve Muirhead, making it look straightforward. And Scotland picking up a hard-fought win here in this early morning draw. Final score in session 2, Scotland 6, Sweden 5. So Scotland pick up their second win of the week, having defeated Italy yesterday. Sweden, after beating Norway yesterday, go to 1 win and 1 loss. Still a couple of games out here in session 2. We're just going to swing over to the other side of the Braehead Arena, Italy and Germany. And a close game there too. Italy leading by 7 shots to 6, and Germany have that last stone advantage, so really could go either way this one. Lots of deuces getting traded back and forth in the second half of the game.
Noch so wie vorhin.
So here's Danny Jentsch, the German skip and 4th player. Scores here in session 2 all along the bottom of your screen. Italy 7-6 up on Germany. Tied game between Finland and Czech Republic. Russia beating Denmark. Switzerland beating Norway. And Scotland beating Sweden. Well, Germany lying one on the button here. And there is a long centre guard here, so maybe a chance here to get a multiple score on the board here for Germany to finish this off in the last end of regular time.
Yep, they don't want to leave a double on these yellows for Italy. So that's a pretty good shot in there.
Yeah, puts them in not a bad position there. Those 2 yellows being so close together. Even if Italy could make a takeout on those stones, that does look a lot like the yellow on the button will go towards the red at the back of the house, which brings the one in the wing into play. So it looks to me, Rona, like Italy may have to play off the wide one. Italy red stones, just that one at the back of the house, and Germany lying 2, maybe even 3 here.
Yeah, I think she's looking at maybe just tapping this yellow onto yellow and leaving her shooter second shot.
Any other options here, Rona?
Yeah, she could use the yellow that's on the wing, come in off that to the shot, and then leave Germany a very difficult shot for 1, never mind 2. So, but from the ice she's taking, it looks as though she just wants to try and tap this one back. She needs to be able to move a yellow back here, because Germany is lying in game position. Yep, they're sweeping it to hold the line here.
Well, looks pretty good. Needs to be lying in second shot at least.
It's just a bit unfortunate she was on the inside there. If she had stayed on the nose of the stone, she would have, her shooter would then be blocking the way now for Germany to draw for 2. But as it is, Daniela Jentsch has got an open draw for, well, half open draw for 2 to win the game.
Yeah, very makeable shot. She can just come down onto her own stone on the button here for a little bit of extra insurance. Should be pretty straightforward here for Danny Jentsch. 85% on her 12 draws today as well, so seems to have her weight for sure. So here it is, final stone of the 10th end. Germany for the win, trailing by 1. So an extra end pretty much already in the bank.
Sweeper's just guiding us and looks good line and good weight.
Lovely shot, nicely done by Daniela Jentsch, and Germany get their first win of the week. Final score there, Germany 8, Italy 7. Italy will have to wait until this afternoon to try and get their first win on the board. But Germany off and running here in session 2.
Looking very pleased and happy with that win.
Well, Germany celebrating with their one fan in here today. To our feature game, Scotland against Sweden here in the 7th end. Missed double takeout from Anna Hasselborg gives Eve Muirhead this chance to score a 2 and take a 2-shot lead over Sweden with just 3 ends to go. Absolutely no problem there. And then here in the 8th end, Scotland lying 3 in a real pressure draw here for Anna Hasselborg. Has to find the forefoot, and it really was a big team effort, scrubbing it down there and just getting it far enough to put one on the board for Sweden. And it's a 1-shot game after 8 ends. And into the 9th end, Scotland with a chance to score 1 and take a 2-shot lead coming home. Here's Eve Muirhead throwing a delicate hack weight shot with her final stone. And just over curls, chips the guard, and doesn't manage to roll into the forefoot. Sweden steal 1 and 9 and tie it up coming home. And then into the 10th. A very uncharacteristic miss from Eve Muirhead with her first stone in 10. Misses the peel on the guard. Anna Hasselborg makes full use of it and makes a super come around, giving just the 1 foot to work with. And a great sweep by Gray and Adams gets it down onto the side of that Yellowstone, and Scotland pick up their 2nd win of the week here in the 2nd session. And there's the final score. Scotland 6, Sweden 5. And just to wrap up session 2, Germany beating Italy, as we saw there, by 8 shots to 7. Finland beating Czech Republic by 8 shots to 4. Russia beating Denmark by 3 shots to 1. And Switzerland beating Norway by 10 shots to 4.
Eve, a hard-fought win. How do you feel after that one?
Do you know, we played great out there today. My team were fantastic behind me, and it always makes my job slightly easier when you have your team playing so well. Yeah, I made it very difficult for myself there in the last, but you know, we've got to come out with those clinking shots to win, and we managed that.
You seemed to struggle a little somewhat later in the game with the ice. Was it swinging a little bit more away from the crowd?
It was definitely swinging slightly more in one hand, and the other hand with the outturn coming away was definitely a little bit straighter. But I guess we've got to deal with the conditions out there. There's no point in moaning about them. We just have to get on with them and deal with them.
So how do you feel playing in front of the home crowd here in Glasgow?
The crowd have been fantastic, and I guess even for an 8 o'clock in the morning draw, to see so many people in supporting us is great. And to have all the people here come along with their Scotland flags, it makes a difference having them behind us for a change when we're used to having them all against us in other countries. But it's good, and the experience, the atmosphere is great out there.
Thanks, Eve, and well done.
So here's the standings after session 2. Just 2 teams remaining undefeated in the women's event. Russia and Scotland, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, all on 1-1 alongside Germany, Switzerland and Sweden. And Italy and Norway will need to wait until session 3 to try and get their first win on the board. You've been watching live coverage from the 2016 Gruyère European Curling Championships from the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire, Scotland. From myself, Logan Gray and Rona Howie, thanks for watching and join us for more coverage this afternoon.